Hudson the Hippo, a tale of self-control. Hudson woke up in a bad mood. This was not unusual. He often woke up in a bad mood. But today, he felt like he couldn't control himself. There was no reason for his bad mood. The night before, Hudson had hid himself out of the lake. As the sun set, he went out to find his dinner. He was a huge animal and he had a huge appetite. Sometimes he walked for hours through most of the night looking for grass to chew. Then back to the lake with a full stomach, Hudson had sunk below the surface of water to sleep. From time to time, his big sleeping body had floated to the surface without doing anything. He came up for air, then sank down again. Up and down, all night long. But today, Hudson felt like the only thing which made him feel better if everyone else also in bad mood. He gave an angry grunt and knocked his younger brother over on purpose. Bump, bump. And that made Hudson feel a lot better. Then he knocked his brother over again. Hudson was really out of control. But Hudson's brother wasn't. He is not in bad mood. He knew how to control himself. "Hi Hudson," he said. "Do you want to play wrestling?" "What fun!" "Of course I don't want to play," snorted Hudson. Hudson was still angry. He looked around for someone else he could grunt at and bump. There were lots of other young hippos. Many were resting in the middle of the lake. Only their eyes, ears and noses poked above the surface. Splash! Hudson frowned at them. They were having a good time. He had put a stop to that. With a mighty leap, he threw himself into the deepest part of the lake, sending a great splash of muddy water over the herd. Splash! But the other hippos weren't out of control like Hudson. "Hey," they called. "Do you want to play? We can splash each other. It will be fun." "Of course I don't want to play," snorted Hudson. "What a terrible temper you have, Hudson," they grunted. "You need to control it, man." Poor Hudson. He wanted everyone to be in bad mood. But the sun was shining. Birds were singing in the trees. A family of monkeys was playing tag. And it seemed no one wanted to be in bad mood. Then Hudson saw a crocodile with a sharp teeth. The crocodile looked mean enough to be in bad mood like Hudson. So Hudson beat his tail just to be sure. Nip, nip. But the crocodile wasn't feeling nearly as mean as he looked. And he wasn't in a bad mood like Hudson. "Hey," he snapped. "Do you want to play with me? We can pretend to bite each other." "Of course I don't want to play," snorted Hudson. The tall cranes didn't look mean at all. But Hudson was so angry by now, he wanted to kick someone. So he marched right up to the flock and he kicked and kicked. The cranes had long legs and they could kick too. "Hey," they called. "Do you want to play? Let's kick. What fun!" "Of course I don't want to play," snorted Hudson. By now, Hudson was so mad that he didn't notice the rhino with the white horn until he had almost bumped into it. Unlike Hudson, rhinos are mostly peaceful creatures, but they do get angry when another animal gets too close. "Hey," growled the rhino. "Look where you are going, man. What's your problem anyway?" "I warn you," said Hudson. I am in really bad mood. You are in bad mood? Asked the rhino. Well, if you want to fight, let's fight. The rhino lowered its wrinkled snout and picked up its ear. It looked ready to charge at Hudson. Hudson looked at the rhino's horn, at the hump on its back, at the bristle on its tail, and at the dust rising from its feet. Did he really want to know what happened when someone else got angry and didn't have self-control? Hudson looked back at the crane. Steel cranes were playing, kicking their legs in a wild dance. At the crocodile snapping at its own tail, and at the hippos splashing in a cool water. And he looked at the sun and the trees and the tall grass. He took a deep breath and felt calm. He felt in control of his feeling. Maybe tomorrow, Hudson said to the rhino in a happy voice. He turned his back on the surprised animal and he went back to play with his friend at the lake. Maybe if he had more self-control, he could have more fun. Hudson the Hippo is a story about learning to control angry feeling. It followed the day of a young hippo who wakes up in a bad mood and who tries to make everyone feel bad. In the end, when Hudson learned to control his feeling, he has a much nicer day with his friend. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or want to be left alone. But picking fight with others isn't a good way to deal with those feelings. It doesn't help others to understand what you are going through and what you are feeling. Self-control means not taking your bad mood out on others, but learning to explain your feelings in words.